When my kids was born, I loved to dress them, feed them, provide everything that they needed. When they sick, take them to the doctor, make sure everything was okay. Yeah, even when I took them to the doctor for immunizations, I was even in control of that. I get to decide on this day how many shots this doctor gonna give my babies. What shot you ain't gonna give them. I was in full control. And shots that I didn't want, immunizations for my kids, I rejected them. I was in full control. It was never a problem for me to walk into a doctor's office with 7 or 8 children, shut the whole doctor's office down. Never ever a problem. And now I have 10 adult children. Out of one of the 10, I got a call one day that said, I have a lump in my left breast. Okay, let's set up a doctor's appointment. We set that appointment up, sitting in the doctor's office. I hear her say to the doctor, after being asked, how long have you noticed this lump has been here? She tell the doctor, it's been there for a year. And I'm in amazement. A year. This has been there. Okay. So we go about our time. And at this appointment, the doctor is requesting, I need you to go and do an ultrasound. We go and have that ultrasound done. And at the time of this ultrasound, this lump is measuring 3.4 centimeters. The next thing, we need you to get a biopsy. But at this time, she's at an appointment alone. And after she did that, he said, you need to have a biopsy within 6 months. She said, I'll wait for the 6 months. She waited for the 6 months, and she waited another 6 months. So now another year has gone by, and this lump has been there for 2 years. So about a month ago, I asked, can we set up another appointment? And let's talk to the doctor about this again. We talked to the doctor about it. And he says, at this point, you have to start back over again, which means we can't just move forward and do a biopsy. We got to go back and do the ultrasound again. She allows me to go to an appointment with her and set up for the ultrasound. She goes to the ultrasound alone, and then she tell me about she got it done. She asked me would I go with her to get the results of it. And I've been going to this same doctor for 20 years now. And I've never seen him move this way. After he sees the ultrasound, he invites other nurses into the room, starts checking her all over, lymph nodes, and all of that stuff. And then he says, this lump is now 4.6 centimeters. At this point, I'm sitting in the doctor's office and I'm nervous, very nervous. We leave there, we have our conversation. And I just want to encourage her to go ahead and get this done immediately. That ultrasound at this point was done about 3 weeks ago. These last 3 weeks have been hell. So ever since we left that doctor's office that day, 3 weeks ago, I feel like I'm trying to have patience and wait because I don't know what it feels like to go through something like this. I can only imagine the fear that can be inside of a person that's going through this. And at this point, I feel like I've asked her so many times to make this appointment. These last 3 days have been paralyzing for me. And I did eventually end up talking to her. And she said, I asked her, are you scared? And she says, yes, Mom, I've been scared since I knew it was there. So I feel like in the past 3 days, like this is the one thing that I can't get off of my mind. So I've been stuck there in that place for 3 days. I've been in pure silence. I haven't been talking to anybody. I don't have any control of this situation. But y'all, if I have never been afraid before. I am as a mother. She has a grandmother that had breast cancer. She has an aunt that had breast cancer. And she also has an uncle that had cancer. And he died from it. So everything. And then again, I got an aunt that died from bone cancer. And through all the things that I've been through in my life, none of them has been as scary as the moment I'm in right now. I don't have a magic wand to wave, and I can't go to her and make her. Make this appointment and go and see about herself. I don't have any control. So once again, I'm back in this place where there's no sleep and there is no peace, because this is consuming me. It's no longer secrets anymore. If she getting a lot of phone calls and stuff like that with family reaching out and everything, it's because it's the only thing that's on my mind. And I want my daughter to take care of herself, regardless of how scared she is of what may be said or whatever. But again, I don't have any control over what's happening right now. So the only thing that I'm trying to do right now at this point is to free myself, because I don't have control over what's happening. This story has consumed me today. It consumed my yesterday. But again, I don't have no control over it. So even though I'm afraid to say it, the feeling on the inside of me is like, for the past couple of days, it's like I'm sitting around helpless. and trying to figure out what can I do, because I'm always able to figure it out. Always able to figure it out. But when you got a grown adult that you can't take them by the hand and say, this is what we're going to do, you don't have any control. And though I don't physically have to look at her and see her every day, I'm her mama. And I feel like everybody handle things differently. But I can look at everybody else and it look like, dang, something must be wrong with me because I can't quit thinking about it. But it looked like to me, and again, I said it looked like to me that it doesn't bother anybody except for me. In which I know that's not true. But that's what my eyes see right now and just the way that I feel. I've had several phone conversations, and at this point, everybody who I've talked to, I'm encouraging them to call my daughter and talk to her. And I don't know that if she gonna hate me for making this video or saying something to somebody about it. I've lost control at this point. I've been trying to hang on for a long time. I got a lot of different things coming at me at one time. So, daughter, if you're under the sound of my voice, and I just want to say that she told me that by the 15th of this month, she would have that appointment to get the biopsy. And I just knew her having the appointment to get the biopsy would give me a level of peace. And I've contacted and asked several times about it, and I feel like she's a little annoyed with me at this point for asking so much. That's just the way I feel. She hasn't said she's annoyed. And so I'm trying to give a little space and hope that she'll go ahead and make it. But it is driving me nuts because the 15th was more than 7 days ago. And I don't just want her to do it for me. I want her to do it for her. I want my daughter to live. And it seems to me that the harder I try to not do these kinds of videos, it just seems where I keep ending up at lately. So again, if you listening, I'm begging you. And everybody that know me in real life, I don't beg anybody. I don't beg anybody for anything. I never have. But today, I'm begging. I don't really celebrate Christmas like that. I acknowledge what the day was made for. But this is the only thing that I want right now at this point. And if I can't have it, I want to know how to get to peace. I don't know how to get to the peace. This thing has taken over my life, has me frozen, stuck. It's almost irritating for somebody to interrupt my thought process of thinking about this every day, all day. And I remember when my kids were small, I used to say, I can't wait till y'all grow up and get older. And now that they older, and you know so many things that are best for them, and most of them don't follow the things that they have to find their own way. And I'm okay with that. But this, I don't know. This is the one that when I was going through mentally, no matter what she saw, she was the one that sat down next to me. And if she never said anything else, she would sit next to me and repeat over and over and over again. The devil is a liar and God is the truth. I can't tell you how many times that girl said that to me. So a part of me knows that God got him. But there's another part of me that's scared because I've lost a kid before. I've watched her grandmother, her auntie go through the cancer process. And I also watched her uncle die from it. So right now, as a parent, there is no other word. I'm scared. Now, is this the place that I'll end up at? I don't think so. And on top of it, I've also watched somebody else go through leukemia. So I know all too well what happens. So I say, I've lost control. I can't control this situation. I can't fix it. I can't make it go away. But I feel like I needed to release it to start my first step too. And God knows I've tried to get relief because I've slowly but surely told a person here or there. I've blurted it out in certain times that I didn't mean to blurt it out. When you're in the presence of other people and you can just hear someone start to tell their story about or their testimony about what they've been through with cancer. And to hear them tell their story and knowing that I'm sitting there and in the back of my mind, my daughter has a lump 4.6 centimeters, a breast. So I've been fighting it and fighting it. My fingers come to the computer to set it up. And the only thing I think about, I always throw myself out of the equation. And I consider everybody else before I consider me. So I done went through. And no matter the little relief that I try to get by just, maybe saying something to somebody, saying a prayer, my days start the same way. And they end the same. And I don't know what it is. Well, yeah, part of me do know what it is, because at this point in my life, it ain't a lot of people that can say, well, now that I'm on YouTube, there's not a lot of people that they can say they saw Shauna cry before, or they heard Shauna cry. And because I've been that strong person for so long, I found myself at night, I turned my back to my husband, and I lay there and let the silent tears flow down my face until I fall asleep. And it's like when I realize I fell asleep, I wake up and do it all over again. And it's the same thing in the morning. When I get up in the morning, it's the first thing that I think about. To hide the tears from my other kids, I go and sit in the bathroom. I can stay in there for hours. Don't make a sound. Just sit in there and just keep rubbing my eyes, breaking off pieces of tissue. So that nobody don't know. So at this point, I feel like that ain't productive. I'm saying my prayers all at the same time. I trust God, I do. But I never had to trust Him at this level. See, I asked for that kind of trust that we have when we go and sit down in a chair. And you just know that when you sit down in that chair gonna hold you up. You don't have no questions about it. You sit down in it. And sometimes you can even have a broken chair and you still have faith in that chair that you can sit down in and it's gonna hold you up. I even understand that the healing ain't always here on earth. There's also healing in not being here on earth anymore. And those are the things I don't want to experience again. I don't want to see my daughter have to go through any of the stuff that I've already had to go through. I've even had someone that I did their hair, and after growing their hair out so nice and beautiful, they ended up with leukemia. And because I was the one that helped their hair grow, I was asked to come there and shave off their hair when their hair was coming. So I've had some experiences, and those experiences are the things that have me afraid right now. And the only thing I'm asking for right now is for you all that are praying people to send up a prayer that the fear that my daughter feeling at this time, that it subsides long enough for us to get to this next step. Because at this point, I'm I'm losing my mind and I don't even know what it is. I just know there's a lump. And she's such a beautiful girl. She got, I feel like, so much life and potential still in front of her. And I just hope and pray that she get to a place of, let's do this, and whatever is standing in front of us, we can handle it together. And so at this point, I don't know what I have done, because right now I'm just trying to have a little consideration for me and what I'm going through. So I don't know if this video or me talking is going to get me kicked off the island to where I don't get to know anything. But I needed to do this for me because it's costing me my peace. So you all, again, I just ask, if you have it in you, if you have a prayer, that's all I'm asking for. Is you to send one up for my daughter. That she'll go ahead and do what she need to do to take care of herself. So, and I thank you all for taking the time to sit and listen. I haven't turned my head to look at the comments or any of that. Um, um, I'm looking at now the comments. Esther. First of all, let me say hello to everyone and thank you all for joining this live. Um, Esther, thank you for that, and I touch and agree with you. Speaking healing right now in the name of Jesus. Thank you for that. So, I appreciate you all, the ones that can send up a prayer, the ones that came in, to view the live. And hopefully the next time that I come here, it will be with better things. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's my season for going through. So I'm going to take the good with the bad. Um, Thank you all for being here. I'm going to end the live now. And I hope everybody that's up in here, your holiday goes very well. And I hope your family is doing well and in good health. Um, and happy holidays. And I will see you all the next time.